Good afternoon, everyone. The mountains are growing, taller and taller every day, all by themselves. Isn't that impressive? Admittedly, it's not by a significant amount, but they are growing nonetheless. People are getting angrier. And do we really need angrier people? After a recent trip to London, I think not. Temperatures are rising and tempers are getting fiery. Have you noticed more people sneezing? High numbers of people are now suffering from intensified illnesses, as well as brand new allergies. I find myself asking, what sole contributor causes all these things to occur? And the answer is the big, controversial rumour that is global warming. But is it just a myth? On paper, global warming exists. The question as to whether it's a fact or a myth, and also the extent of it, comes from media and the politics. We want to believe that burning coal, oil, and the deforestation and destruction of rainforests to further industrialise has no negative effect, as we find ourselves benefiting economically. And after all, isn't that all that matters? And in an ideal world, that would be great. But it's certainly not the case. Even governments of developed countries, such as the UK and the USA, don't seem to have the environment very high on their priority lists. They may offer some incentives for the public, but they don't seem to be taking advantage of these. When I found out that my first car had no road tax on it, that was a great advantage, but not something I went out of my way to find. This is a big surprise, considering all the scientific evidence and the astounding changes that are occurring all around us. The media may over-exaggerate the effects and how much the global warming is going to affect us in the future, but there is some truth behind these headlines. New studies are published all the time. We see things such as rumours of London, Paris and New York all being uninhabitable in 45 years because of climate change. But then others challenge this, saying that the Earth's going to be able to support life for another 1.75 billion years. Even the UN Board for Climate Change says that there's not actually much certainty with how much we are going to be affected. But at the end of the day, these all have one thing in common. There is an issue with climate change, and we're living on a ticking time bomb. Although this may be the case, and we do have all this evidence, we still see examples of those who entirely doubt what's presented to us. Global warming conspiracy theorists suggest that global warming was invented to fit ideology and also for financial reasons. This is understandable considering the number of different companies that are benefiting from selling products that tackle the effects of global warming. Some believe that climate change research scientists have hypothesized global warming entirely to attract financial support. A handful of people also have alternative ideas about the creation of global warming. William Gray is a retired hurricane researcher, and he's well known for his extreme views on global warming. He has what's called his own conspiracy theory. He claims that the rise of average temperatures is just part of a natural cycle, and in all fairness, the historic records do support this. We're meant to see a global cooling for the first part of the 21st century until around 2030, and then a fall again. With all this contradictory evidence, it's hard to actually answer the question, does global warming exist? At the end of the day, the media are just trying to sell their stories, and political parties are just trying to get votes. But really, what harm can it do cutting down our CO2 levels? We'll be living in a much cleaner, healthy environment. So, I say, although we may not know global warming exists, it's probably worth doing something about it just in case. Thank you all very much for listening.